Well, there is a Xyngular explosion going on. I'm Cala, Stadel. Welcome. You guys can sit down. Did you meet someone that you don't know and find out anything about? And how exciting it is to have men that are really doing the thing. Go men. Okay, well, welcome to my home. And I will say that I'm talking into this even though it's not projecting. It's for the future. How many of you guys know that there's going to be people that come onto your team that are not here already? How many of you want them to capture a little bit about what we're doing today? So that's why we're doing it. So it's going to be in Boom Team. Anyway, so I'm Cala Stadel, and the first time, I'm going to just take you back 1 second. Like, I walked into this house a long time ago before I have it. I have 7 children. 2 are here. 2 others are in the business. 6 girls. Hey, Jeff. And I walked into this house when it wasn't mine. I was like, oh my gosh, it was like, this is unbelievable. And so it's totally gives me chills to think that now I get to walk into this house and have you guys in because of Xyngular. It's crazy. And so we're going to just kind of try to catch you guys all up to speed. The speed in which everything's going right now is so fast, and I'm so excited that you guys are here for the Xyngular explosion. So I want to recognize a few people right now. So if you have already gotten one check, if you've ever gotten a check, I want you guys to stand up with Xyngular. Yay. Yep. I know Jayna's gotten a few. She's a $3 million earner, but anyways. Yeah, okay. Now stay standing if you earned your fast start bonus. That means that you shared with 4 people at least 120 points or above. That's a lot of people getting checks and sharing. Yeah, and Emma, you're one of those. Yay. Stay standing if you're a manager with our company. If you've hit manager. We have a thing called a bonus pool. It's like profit sharing, and there's 12 different ones you can be in. So everybody that's standing here, they take all the managers through the whole company, and they divide 1% of our whole company sales. So you guys get to divide that. That's why we're one team, one dream. Okay, if you're a silver manager, stay standing. Yay. Okay, some people are not agreeing with what they're supposed to be doing. Not a problem. Okay, awesome. Give these guys a hand. That is awesome. If you are a gold manager with our company, that means you're in the manager pool, the silver manager pool, and the gold manager pool. Awesome. Give these guys a round of applause. Platinum manager. All right. Directors. Almost silver director. She'll hit it today. Brand new. You guys are going to get to hear from some extreme builders. Okay. If you are a silver director or above, stand. Are you guys standing? Come on. Gold director and above. Platinum directors and above. Oh my gosh. Now, 2 months ago, these guys were silver managers. It's crazy, right? If you're an executive, stand or maybe come forward. And if you are a platinum executive, we're getting ready to hit a bunch of ranks. So Jayna, Dyer was one of my first call, and I said, hey, Jayna, you got to take a look at this. And we had done business together before, and she was not interested in the business. And I guess she told me this. I tell her not to tell people this. She goes, if you talk to me about the business, I'm going to hang up on you. But she was interested in health and nutrition. Who isn't, right? Especially these days. And moving forward, things change. So I thank God that she said yes to the product and watched me, knowing that I was a busy mom of 7. And she had done a business like this before, but she had done so much and it didn't pay off. She didn't think it was worth the time. Now, 3 million plus earner and traveling the world together. So I want to thank you guys for being here. We are going to go ahead right now and bring the people that I talked to about. These are extreme builders, and Nick, who is, sorry if that is too loud. Nick, who is getting ready to hit silver manager already, and we're only on, what day is this, 17th of the month? You guys, so much can happen. I mean, wherever you are right now, you can actually double or triple by the end of the month. I know that. And being here is going to help do that. So, okay. And then, what are some tips that you have for these guys that are here?
Okay. My name is Hannah McDowell, and I am from Rossville, Kansas. I came to this kind of in a weird way, I actually stalked Madi Walsh on Instagram, and then I was like, not into it, whatever. And then I got invited to my journey, and then I instantly saw Madi's post from her wedding, and I thought, holy crap, like this is what I want to look like. This is my goal right here. And so I messaged her, and then she hooked me up with Rayleigh, who actually invited me to the group, because I didn't even know who invited me, actually. And then I knew right away, because I have kind of been in businesses before, that if I was going to do this, I was just going to go for it all. And so hadn't even got my products, decided to sign up as a distributor with a little coercing from Madi and Rayleigh, like just go ahead and like, let's do this. Start inviting people and just see what happens. I actually had 2 people order the Ultimate before I had even gotten my shipping notice. And so then I knew, I was like, this is it, I gotta go for it. And then ever since then, I just started inviting people. And the first thing Rayleigh had said to me on the phone was, who do you want to go with? Who do you want to run with? And that's when Kathy Hammer, who is under me and about to hit manager, literally 160 PV away. This is Kathy, my hopefully soon to be mother-in-law. Her son would just propose. That's right. And so I knew that, and so she's done really well too, and I just knew I wanted to have a team of good people, and so that's really helped me, is building a community and a team of people that I enjoy to do this with and getting to run with them, but also getting to influence people, because I am into health and wellness, and so I've really enjoyed getting to coach people into changing their lifestyles like I once did. I've ever since college, I've lost 38 pounds, and so I want to see other people do that as well. So that's kind of how I got here, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. So I was a Beachbody coach. I love Beachbody workouts. I just was never into the supplemental side because I didn't see any benefit. And I tried these products and knew they were it. They've got the whole line, the whole wellness line that you're looking for, because it's not just weight loss, it's overall wellness, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Brittany Flowers. This is also new to me, so it's hard for me to even talk about the company. I'm 1 month in. I am a director. I bought some products from Makaela because I've been off work for 2 months, and I've just like kind of been eating junk and not feeling good and like drinking a lot. So I messaged her. I was like, okay, we got to get something for me so I can like stop snacking all day and start feeling better. So I got my products and I shared them on Facebook, and my messages kind of just like blew up, like, what is this? Because I'm from Joplin, Missouri, where this like isn't around. So it kind of just blew up for me, and I work in another direct sales company, so I think I kind of knew the business part of this. When Cala told me about all the Extreme Builder bonuses, I talked to her like a couple days in. I was like, I'm gonna get the 9,000. Like, that's just what I'm gonna do, you know? I mean, and it took me 30 days to get it.
9,000 in bonuses in 30 days.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. So my last day of work was March 16th, and I had $500 in my bank account, and I have a daughter. She's a year and a half, so I was freaking out because my work just was like, you're off work, like there's nothing we can do about it, and we're not paying you anything. So I was freaking out, like just not even going to be able to get groceries in a couple weeks. So, and then I got unemployment, so I felt a little better, but now I have $20,000 in my bank account. So yeah, it's been a crazy month, and I can't wait to see where I go with this business. So
hi everybody, my name's Fallon Dyer. I'm a 22-year-old senior, soon to be super senior in college because I'm going back for another year. And my mom sitting there, if you couldn't gather from the introduction Cala gave her, she's pretty much a badass. And for 10 years, I've watched her do this. I know the products work, so I don't really have a huge product testimony because I've taken them for 10 years. And, I mean, I've stayed fit. I'm able to control my huge sweet tooth and, things like that. And, the past 4 years, I've been a full-time college student and a full-time college athlete. I rodeoed the past 4 years, and for anybody that doesn't know anything about that, it's 365 days out of the year that I can go to a rodeo. And if you don't do good, then you don't get paid. And that was pretty much my job. I didn't have enough time to get a 9-to-5 or even a part-time job because I'm very competitive. I like to be the best at what I do. And to do that both in the classroom and in the rodeo arena, that was where all of my time and energy went. So I was not getting a job. And, I was sitting in my room the other day, probably like a month and a half ago, and I noticed all of my friends were starting to, get involved in some sort of network marketing. And it was just kind of like an epiphany of like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I not doing this? Because I knew that, you can get rich and travel the world for free with this company. I've been to 7 different countries as a 22-year-old, and I wanted that for myself. And I was tired of being broke, basically. So I sat down with my mom a month and like 4 days ago, actually. And I was like, I just need you to show me how to make $200 to $500 a month to pay for my entry fees to keep going to rodeos. And I think I've made like $3,000 in that time frame. I'm like 100 points away from the second extreme builder. I'm so close it hurts. I want to just go place an order myself, but but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, I've watched firsthand this company not only change my family's life, but the Stadels. I've known them since I was born. And so I'm just really excited to see where it takes me and to start creating my own Xyngular story and not living through my mom's. But yeah, it's been really fun. So.
My name is Tabitha Cross. I live in Vassar, Kansas. I actually tried the products about 9 years ago. Had great results, great success. My daughter went through some major brain surgeries, spinal surgeries. So unfortunately, I was not able to continue the products. So I've tried Beachbody, I've tried supplements over the counter, everything. I now have an office job, so I am at my heaviest I've ever been, but I'm down 13 pounds in 2 weeks. So that was huge for me. And so I saw Cala, I just kind of watched My Journey. Decided to send Cala a message and decided to order the Ultimate. My husband told me that I could, so I ordered the Ultimate. Originally, my husband and I were going to share the Ultimate. When I got my products, he said, I am not doing this. I said, okay, whatever. So then I had my soon-to-be daughter-in-law. She just recently had a baby, so was wanting to lose some weight as well. So we got her signed up. She ordered the Ultimate, or the Ignite. And then my husband said, okay, I will do it with you, but I want my own kit. And I said, okay, what do you want? So we ordered him the Ultimate. Still has not gotten his product yet. So we've all been kind of sharing. And then my daughter decided that she wanted to try. She's gained probably 80 pounds since her spinal fusion. Thought it would be a good health benefit. First, I was just going to order her a few products. Then Cala's like, well, she really needs the global, all the nutrients. So I ordered her the Ignite as well. She's lost 12 pounds. Caitlin has lost 8, but she lost over 21 inches in 8 days. So that was crazy. And I never thought, like I said, I got signed up as a member and never thought that I would ever be where I'm at now. I was so excited yesterday when I finally hit the $1,000 bonus. So that's kind of where I'm at. And yes, I'm super close.
How we do our system is you add people to My Journey. So she hadn't ordered yet, but you added people to My Journey, and before she got her order in, she already had people.
Yes.
And you've got 4 people that have hit fast start already.
Yes. Yep. And then I've got, several people sharing as well and trying to help them. And it's just following the system. And if you have questions, ask. I ask Cala questions every day. So it's just, the products sell themselves. that's where I'm at.
My name is Nick Walsh. I'm from Linden, Kansas. Madison is my sister-in-law. And I've been around the Stadels for a long time, and I've been around the products for a long time and the business side of things. And, Madison's asked me a few times to kind of jump in with the products and the business, and I just kind of blew it off. And it kind of took me. So I was the punter at Kansas State, was in the best shape of my life in college. After that, wanted to become a singer-songwriter in country music. So I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and somewhere along the way kind of fell into the black hole that runs through that town. And it just kind of took me going off the deep end to want to really invest myself in the health side of things and the business side of things. And so I owe a lot to Madison and Logan and Makaela for just encouraging me to get started in this. And I've paid half my bills off this month with this company, and a lot sharper between the ears than I was a few weeks ago. So I could sit up here and rant all day about it, but I'm just really thankful for those three, and I guess I don't have too much more to say. But
My name is Brittany Farris. I've been doing this for about 3 weeks, maybe a little longer. I just want to say that the system works, like how they have it set up works. I didn't even know what products I was selling because I saw Logan growing like on Instagram, like I'm making this much, now I'm making this much, now I'm making this much. And I was like, I want to be making that much. So I called her and I said, I don't know what you're selling. Order me whatever I need. I want to make money. So I probably had like 9 people signed on before I even got my product. And I still didn't even know what she ordered for me. But I'm just saying, like, that's how easy the system works. Like, if you're using the text replacements, if you're adding people to My Journey, the only people that are contacting you are people that are interested. So, yeah, I'm from Wichita. Sorry, I just skipped my whole about me. I'm from Wichita. I own a wedding videography, photography business. I also work in the hunting industry as an influencer, work with like Cabela's and some big companies. So I do have like a larger following. But I do know a lot of girls that have less followers than me that are still moving faster than me. So I just want to make sure people like aren't getting discouraged when you're seeing some of these people like sprinting. Move at your own pace. Do your thing. You're going to get there. Yeah, that's really all I have to say.
Okay, so kind of the catalyst that did all of this work for me to get started and hit Silver Manager 2 months ago, and I had literally been stuck at Manager for 6 months, was doing samples. And for me, it was like I've been around it my whole life. My passion is the exact opposite of health and wellness. I don't really conform to any diets whatsoever. So I actually just came for the business also. These products are amazing. They sell themselves. No one can deny that. And so I came for the business myself. So when I decided to go 2 feet in with this, I wanted to make major waves. And Madi and I were like, well, we've never done samples before, so let's just try it. So doing the samples, which we have a couple of them here, just in case you want to know what they look like, kind of what the paperwork in them is. And they don't even need to be that cute and pretty. They just need to get the job done. People need to try these products, put them in their mouth. So yeah, doing samples, if you have not and you are new or you're old, like I will never outgrow doing sampling because a lot of people won't take the, have you never? Oh, well, sorry. Whatever. If you have not ever done samples, no matter where you're at in this journey, you need to do sampling. So many people will not take the jump because they've tried so much stuff and it tasted like crap. And so when you put these 3 products in there or whatever products you want to sample and they just taste how good they are, and then they, this is what we say they're going to do, whether they've had one sample or 2, they are going to want more. And it will be people that even surprise the hell out of you that you never thought would want to do this. And so we have that whole section in the Boom Team page. So if you don't pick up everything that we're throwing down, there's going to be a unit about it, and this is all also going to be posted. So do you want to say something about the samples?
Yeah. So with the samples, the whole purpose, like, how we always say it doesn't matter who you know, it's about who they know. So when you're giving samples, make sure that you are leveraging your business through that. So whenever people reach out and say that they want a sample, make sure, so we have all this verbiage inside that topic inside a Boom Team, but you want them to invite 50 to 100 of their friends into My Journey to get the sample. Because we've had a lot of people who, I have a lot of people who got samples who haven't ordered, but people who they put in there, I've got to sign up because they put them in there.
Yeah, and it's just leverage for you. You know, if you give someone a sample, there's a good chance they're going to want to buy the product, but if they don't want to buy the product, then there's leverage whenever the people that they've added do. So you can say, hey, do you want the commissions for this, or do you want to give the commissions to me? So by that, you either get the person that they added, or you get the person they added and them, which was kind of the whole point. I mean, it's not like they're cheap. The samples, they take time for you to make. It's product cost. So get your money's worth and have people add at least 50 people to My Journey. And I played it safe whenever I did it. I was still like, oh, like that's asking people to do a lot. It's like, it's the click of a button. So I only had people adding 25, and I could have, you know, done more and had them add 50. So just don't feel weird about that. I get added to like 6 groups every day. And I've fortunately never had somebody be an asshole and be like, hey, you know, don't add me to that page, quit adding me to that page. But if they do, you can always send them a message and let them know what you're adding them to. So.
And what happened for you was you did samples at the beginning of March, and the system got put in place at the end of March. And the last week, you sponsored 21 people and 37 minutes.
Right. Yeah. So if you want explosive growth, do samples, period. Like that just is what we know worked. It was the catalyst for all of my growth that I had a couple months ago and continuing. So definitely samples are a huge, huge part of that. Right. Yeah. I've told all my girls this month, most of them are on their second month. Some of them are in their first. And I've just said, for your 120 point order this month, you need to do products that you can sample. Chances are you're not running out of products yet, and you need to try the ones that you're sampling anyways. So it's really smart to have your subscription on at least a couple products that you can sample, you know, every month or however often.
Okay, I'm Maddie Walsh. I'm Cala's number 3 daughter. So My Journey, I think, does she just kind of want us to talk about? Yeah. Okay, so obviously, like at the beginning of this month, I think that we had like 3,000 people in there, and we're already past 20,000. So it's obviously grown a ton. We do pay someone full time to run the page, get people connected who are reaching out for information with who invited them, which that alone is like a full-time job. So anyways, I think we just kind of wanted to let you guys know we want this to be a safe place. So if someone messages you, because, you know, sometimes people will just see someone's results and reach out and just want to get the information from them because they could relate to their story. Make sure that you let one of the admins know, me, Logan, Makaela, Jayna, my mom, whoever your coach is, just let them know that this person messaged you so that we can get them connected with the person who actually invited them. So whenever people message me, I just screenshot the message. I send it to the person who needs to get them information and just let them know, be on the lookout for a message from this person they invited you to the page. What else do we need to say about My Journey? Oh, on your post that you do make, don't put any lingo like, hey, reach out to me, contact me, because they will. And we want to make sure, you know, that people are getting back to the right people. I mean, I don't think anybody would like to have a bunch of people invited and then just get them taken by somebody else. So we just want it to make it to remain a high integrity place. Make sure that you're not, you know, stealing other people's people. If you think that you invited someone but you're not sure, reach out to an admin so that we can look it up, so we can just avoid unneeded controversy. And is there anything else you wanted me to say about My Journey? Okay. Well, anyways, we just want to make sure, you know. Oh, and the last thing about My Journey is, you know, that's our moneymaker. Like, all we have to do, you guys, is invite people to My Journey, and that's literally how we're making our money. So make sure that you're paying attention to your notifications inside of Facebook so that people aren't waiting for over a day. You know, it's like, you got to take this seriously. I mean, people are making serious money, so take it seriously. Pay attention to your notifications so that you can see if you got tagged that someone wants to buy something from you. Because we've been having people who have been waiting for.
They get pissed quick when you don't reply to for some reason.
Yeah.
So.
And we let them know, like, people have lives. It's not like everybody can live inside of this group. But, I mean, if it goes longer than a day, it's a little ridiculous. So just pay attention to the notifications. Okay, so as you guys know, we have, like, exploded in the past 2 months. Like, it is so crazy nuts. A little backstory on me. I've actually been with Xyngular for 3 years. Obviously, my mom's been with the company since like the beginning of it. But my story, you know, I knew the products were amazing. My mom lost 80 pounds in 6 months. I knew that this opportunity was awesome. Like in the beginning, they used to actually mail us checks. And I remember 10 years ago being so excited to run to the mailbox to get these checks. We weren't in a great financial place. And, you know, as much as my mom needed the products, she needed this opportunity even worse. I mean, there were 7 of us kids. We were in a down economy. But, you know, most people graduate college or graduate high school. They go to college. And if you don't in Burlington anyways, you're looked at as like a failure of a human being. So anyways, that's what I did. I was like, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get a 9-to-5 job. And after I was going to school, I'm like, why would I sign up for this whenever I know, you know, what my mom has created? She has complete time freedom. She gets to travel the world with some of her best friends. She has unlimited earning potential. She makes her own schedule. So anyways, I dropped out and, long story short. And last April, I think I was finally able to hit director. And, so let's see. Last month I hit executive, and I just want to tell you guys where I was at in February because it's so crazy the potential that people have to come in now and run with. Like Logan and Makaela were both silver managers 2 months ago, you know, and now they're both going to be flying past executive. Like it's nuts. Everybody has this potential to grow like that. So in February, my total volume was 8,606. We had 0 rank advancements on our team. And in February, really where this Xyngular for Dummies came from, we had a training in Wichita, and no part of me wanted to go to this training at all. I was honestly extremely embarrassed about where my business was. I knew that the people in the company would probably know where I was. I just didn't feel worthy of being there or even worthy of standing up as a director because I wasn't even hitting gold manager, you know? So I left that meeting knowing that some things had to change. Jana Bowler did a training and she was talking about duplication. And she said, I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How often are you doing the things that we all want to duplicate in our business? So how often are you making sure that every single time someone gets started, you're giving them the option to be a referring member, setting up subscription right when they order, telling them to invite their friends and family into my journey. And as she was going through this list, I was like below a 5 for sure on everything. Some of those things I wasn't even doing. And, you know, here's the deal. You guys all, you know, made the time to be here, made the effort to be here. I'm sure that there was a lot of things that you guys could have been doing. But you decided to be here. So I just want to encourage you guys to take something that you learned today and go implement it into your business. Because like I said, I've been doing this for 3 years. You know how many trainings I've gone to, how many Xyngular events I had gone to that were a complete waste of my time, to be honest, because I left and I'd put nothing into action. So this is going to be a total waste of your time to be here if you don't take something and implement it into your business and get that to duplicate in your team. So anyways, I left there. I was like, okay, we've got to make this more simple. We've got to make this more duplicatable. How are we going to do it? You know, we have all of these genius leaders in Xyngular who come up with this verbiage that we can all use, but it was like it was scattered in a million different places. I could never remember where to find what. And I was just, you know, letting a lot of stuff fall through the cracks. So that's kind of where Xyngular for Dummies came into play. I had saw the X-Twins created a Google document that had their fast chat in it. And I'm like, okay, we've got to do that. But I want to do it not only for the fast chat, getting people information, but the follow-up, because that's key. You know, we always say the fortune is in the follow-up, because a lot of people aren't going to purchase the first time that they see the prices. We have to have one for coaching, because we all know that happy customers become distributors. So that's really, really important, and something we probably need to hit on a little more. And then we have one for common questions and objections. So if you ever have people who are like, is this safe for breastfeeding? What's the difference between your company and all other companies out there? Any of those kind of questions that we all get asked all the time, it's all in one place in a form. So we created that, I think, the end of March. But in March, I left there and I was like, okay, some things have got to change. I'm going to start, myself implementing what I wanted to duplicate on my team. So in March, got back up to 16,650. We had 2 rank advancements on our team. We had 47 new enrollments. 21 of those were from Logan, because that was the month that we decided to do samples. And then in April last month, you guys, so we went from 16,650 to 100. Oh, it was over 120,000. We grew by over 100,000 volume in 1 month, because people were able to plug into a system and run. And the really cool.
Said, well, if Logan's doing that, I'm doing that.
Right. So what I've started to think of this is like a franchise, you guys. All of you were just able to open a franchise for $50. Do you know how expensive a McDonald's franchise is, or why people even pay millions of dollars to open franchises? It's because there's a system, a simple system that they can plug into, that you can hire high schoolers to do, So that's what we have here. We have a $50 franchise that you're buying into for the customer service, the shipping and handling, the payroll, all of that for $50 a year. And now we have a system like a franchise that a 12-year-old could plug into and do. So, okay, so it took me a long time to actually go program the text replacements as actual text replacements. I was bouncing around from chats like, oh, where did I send this to somebody? Going around looking for it. If you have not put your text replacements in as actual text replacements, do it. Like, I know you think it doesn't take you a lot of time to run around and copy and paste things, but oh my gosh, it took Logan way too long to do it. And she's like, wow, I really wish that I would have just programmed those. And also make sure when you do a text replacement, it's going to come in one chunk. And I don't know about you guys, like, it's already a lot of words kind of for someone to read. Make sure that you're like spacing it out so that people aren't just looking at one huge blob. Okay, so the verbiage that's in the form right now sounds like me. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys don't talk the way that I talk, and your friends know that. So whenever you are programming these text replacements into your phone, make sure that you're switching it up to sound like you. I let everybody know it's just a really great skeleton that has like the meat of what you need, but put your own spin on it. Make it sound like you. So definitely make it sound like you. And I know Nick and Tracer have been really great about taking it, and Matt too, taking the verbiage and making it sound like a guy. Like they don't use all these like hand emojis and hearts.
But they're working. They're kind of laying the groundwork for us.
Yeah.
As soon as they get hammered out what a man would want to say or what they should say, while keeping the stuff in that we know we have to let people know, we're going to spread that to everybody.
Yeah. Matt's using the sunglass emoji instead of the praising hands. So as you guys know, you're probably all using the same text replacements, but make sure that you are take what they've told you they're looking for and sprinkle that throughout the information so that they feel like, it's personal. And then something really, really, really powerful that I didn't start implementing until a couple weeks ago was using that voice thing feature. After they tell you, that they really struggle with cravings, or they have no energy during the day, or they have pain in their body, if that's something that you can relate to, get on there and record your voice. Like, you don't have to tell your whole story, but whenever someone tells me that they're addicted to sugar, like, that was totally me, So get in there, and I think just adding that voice element makes them feel like they're actually speaking to a human being. Like, they're actually having a conversation. It's not like a robot. So, I mean, it's really awesome. It takes probably about 3 minutes total to be in a chat for us. So just do a little extra mile and just, yeah, that voice memo has completely changed things. Like before, whenever chats were just like, yep, nope, now they're like adding emojis and think I'm a real human. So
we need to add that to the common questions and objections, because a lot of times I'll get in a 3-way chat with one of my girls and she's like, hey, I've added my coach and the vibe's great. And then the person's like, well, I want info and pricing right now. And obviously what's the company? Like, I want to go do my own research. I've even had somebody say that, just what's the company? I want to do my own research. Didn't even want the info. So from there, and that's going to be a problem that you see a lot. So make sure, and we got to add it to the common questions and objections, that you just give them the company's name. Truthfully, we're not out here trying to keep this secret because it's getting out there and it's going to be a household name really soon. So give them the company's name, tell them that we specialize in wellness, weight loss, and energy. If they ask for the price up front, because a lot of them do, we just let them know we have options and prices for every budget, but I need to get familiar with your goals first so I can steer you in the right direction. So address their comments and concerns right up front, because we don't want them thinking this is some secretive, weird thing like a lot of people believe that it is. It probably looks that way, or too good to be true, or whatever. So make sure you're addressing those problems, and then always take it back to the chat method.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will divert, or maybe after the 3-part system, they're like, that's great, but what's the price? So at that point, it's cool because we say, I'm going to have you watch this video and then I'll shoot you the options and prices. Just address what they're asking up front. If you don't know the answer, ask your coach. We're usually right next to our phones to kind of try to help you get in there quickly, because some people ask some crazy things. And then we always try to take it back to the chat because we want to be in control of the conversation. They could ask a million questions, but the text replacements answer all of those questions if you bring it right back to the chat.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to say, if you're not comfortable doing voice memos, just add your own text above the text replacement and say, oh my gosh, I totally relate to you. I lost the same amount, or I got my energy back, whatever. You don't have to go on a voice memo, but just making sure that you're adding in personal touches here and there for it to sound like you and like you're a real person.
And the other thing is, okay, so I don't know if you guys have ever Googled Xyngular reviews, but just so you know, there's people from other companies who have put that it's like a 500 calorie restriction diet and a whole bunch of BS that's totally not true. So like whenever people get in a chat and they are just like, why are you guys so secretive? What's the name of this company? And I still don't want them to go research it because I want them to get accurate information from me and not Google. If you say Xyngular, people have no idea how to spell it, so you're still telling them the name of the company. You're not being secretive, but they're still not going to be able to probably figure out how to go to Google. And
the other thing that I've learned is that we are not salespeople. If someone is putting you through the ringer, just say, hey, up front, this could be for you. This could not be for you. You asked for information. I'm just giving you the information that I have, and it's totally up to you whether you want to do this or not. Like, we really don't have to convince people of this. Everyone's going to come around at whatever speed that they're ready to do that. Or if they go do some more research, I don't know. So just make sure you're letting them know you're not coming from a desperate place. Like, I don't need your sale right now. Just, this could be for you. This could not. I'm just giving you the information that you asked for. And whether you decide to do this or not is completely up to you. Because we're really not in sales. We're just people taking products, connecting them with information. And then from there, the choice is completely theirs. So a lot of times when you take the pressure off, they're like, oh, well, okay, maybe I do want to hear more. Like, this person really isn't just using me to make a quick buck and moving on. Having someone that comes on and wants the products, and the second they tell you they want the business, we've got to make sure they have the tools to be able to be successful and to handle that kind of growth. I mean, it's right there for you. So if someone personally, when someone says, I want the products, I'll do the chat method with them. That's great. If they tell me that they're open to the opportunity, I get on the phone with them, because who wants to describe the business with no text replacements to people who know nothing? So get on the phone with anybody who wants the opportunity. It is worth your time to get on the phone with them and kind of explain to them what's going on with you and more about the business. Right, or with your upline. You want to trade, Jayna?
Yeah. And the last thing is, you guys, this entire business is about simplicity and duplication. So behind everything that you're doing, you should be asking yourself, them watching this, are they going to think that they can do it too? Because if you're sending paragraphs of personal stuff, that's really awesome. But if I saw somebody doing that, I would be like, okay, I'm not signing up for that because I can't do that. So just behind everything that you do, think, okay, would they think that they could do this too? Because it really is all about making it stupid, simple, not overwhelming people, and duplicating.
And just building off that, if you are like doing something and you're like, well, no, this is totally working, I'm going to keep doing it. This is uncomfortable here. It's not what works. Like Madi says, it's what duplicates. And so I can't believe I'm talking on this subject of organization, really. But seriously, there's a couple things that I want to share with you guys that's literally, some of it's brand new that's I really wish that I would have had in the beginning. But I just want to ask, who is like less than 30 days in the business out here? Less than 30 days. I love it. What a great way to kick off your business. So thank you, Cala, for opening your home to us. And so how many of you here have heard of Teamzy? And how many of you are using it right now? So a little story about Teamzy. Actually, I heard about Teamzy 2 years ago, and I looked into it, and I was like, oh, this looks kind of complicated because I'm totally not a tech person at all. And then a couple other leaders were talking about it, and I was like, no, I'm just going to stick to my pen and paper. That's kind of, who I am, and I don't want to change. And they were having this meeting online, a Zoom meeting, to talk about it. And I was like promoting it, even though I wasn't believing it myself. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to jump on here and be open-minded because, what if this could be something? Obviously, I respected the girls that were bringing it to the table. And I think it was like 3 minutes in that they were talking about Teamzy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm totally sold. So, imagine just being able to like open your phone and it telling you, spoon feeding you who you need to talk to that day, who you need to follow up with, and who you just need to, build a relationship with. So Teamzy is just a way to completely stay organized, just feel in control, and it's going to save you time and help you be efficient. So, and just also just build relationships. So previously to Teamzy, when somebody would like tag me in the results group, I'd be like, oh yeah, and start a chat, and then 500 chats later, they get lost. And so now I immediately go and I add them to Teamzy as a prospect. And to take it one step further, I don't know if you're using tags or not, but tags is the real deal. I love tags. And so if you're wondering what tags are, for instance, when I open up Teamzy, I want to go to my hot list, my hot prospect list. And by that, I mean people that have reached out to me for information, and I've been in a chat with them, maybe to follow up and they haven't got started. So you can actually go to this tag that says hot list, and all of the people will just pop right up. You can just go down the list. I also have a tag for samples, like when I send out samples. And that was really nice because I just created a tag called samples, and anybody that I sent a sample to, I went and I added them as a prospect, and then I tagged it samples. So
for people who have jobs where they appreciate having something they have to do every day, they know what's on their schedule and that kind of stuff, Teamzy is going to be so powerful for you because you pull it up, you do your power hour, you really only have to give it an hour of your time or less every day. You plug in how much money you want to make. You put your people in and it spits out directly who do you need to talk to, who you reminded yourself you need to follow up with. And it's just really good for people who want to have a schedule. A lot of times people are like, well, what does your daily life look like? Like, what would I even do every day? And when you have Teamzy to log into, it literally gives you a task list. So you're doing income producing activities for that whole entire hour. and it gives people like a job description. This is what I do. I log in, I follow up with people. You know what I'm saying? So, why do the work with every new person 1,000 times when you've already done half the work or all the work with somebody who's right there? So that just kind of reminds you of where are the people that you've talked to, where are they at, and who do you need to be talking to every day? And the other thing that's cool about it is that it doesn't put price tags on people's heads. That's not really the way that we are anyways. We're sharing this opportunity because we know it could benefit them physically or financially or both. So the big premise behind Teamzy is that it just builds relationships with people. So a lot of it would be just like reaching out to people when it's their birthday and letting them know happy birthday or how are you. It's not even just there's a new sale, who do I need to reach out to? It's really about building relationships with people, because they buy you before they buy what you're selling. So
Yeah, that's so true. It's like we're not promoting we're not in the Xyngular business, and we're not in the product business. We're in the people business. And this is about relationships, and people do business with those who they like and trust. And so speaking of that, it's a great way to continue to build a relationship with your customers. So as soon as somebody becomes a customer, I will create another tag. Like I have a tag for April new starts, May new starts. And again, not just to, give them hey, there's a sale going on, but just to go and just be active on their wall. Their kid's birthday is over the weekend. Just say, hey, looks like you had a great time with such and such birthday. Just be human and keep those relationships, because if they stay in the forefront of your mind, they're going to continue to do business with you. So if you haven't gone to Teamzy, it's not an app. Go to your computer and just type in teamzy.com, and you'll click on the free trial, and you don't have to put a credit card in or anything. That's what I totally love about it. And it's going to ask you to upload all your Facebook contacts. I wouldn't do that personally, because the prospects that I want to add myself, I want to pick and choose who I'm going to reach out to. And so that's just one thing I didn't do. Let's see. There's a help center, and I'm like not techie at all. So if I can do this, anybody can. But there's a help center, and if you need help setting it up or anything, it will talk you right through. Or the customer service is really good. So they also have dailies, like if your goal is to do a 16-8 fast or something, or drink water, or God time. Personal growth, exercise. It has a place that you can check those off too. So it's hard to talk about when you don't see it. But what I like to do is I have it pulled up on my computer, and then I go to my phone as far as who to reach out to. But like Logan said, it's the greatest thing, especially if you're working full time and you're working over your lunch, or you want to put in a little bit of time before you go home and hit the door and everything, breaks loose. It'll just tell you exactly who you need to follow up with, exactly who you need to reach out with, who's your hot list, who's your lukewarm list, who's your customers. So I love it. Another thing that keeps me really organized is a few things in my phone. I have a photo album full of different albums. My photos are full of different albums. That's what I'm trying to say. And so I have a photo album that's just of before and after pictures. If I see somebody on you guys' results pages, my journey, I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's such a good one. I really don't want to take it and post it that same day. So what I'll do is just save it in my photo album. And I've got like gazillion before and afters in my photo album.
Or if there's a testimony.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people with hyperthyroidism or PCOS or stuff like that. If you know that you're going to come across a lot of people with that same thing, it really helps to have another person's testimony, or like whatever, diabetes. It really helps to, or I've used Makaela's for someone being pregnant on the products, and they're like, well, is this safe for me? I'm like, well, yeah, actually one of my best friends is pregnant and doing our system. So if you ever see a really great testimony or one you feel like you might need to use at some time, screenshot the picture, put it in your phone so that you're able to use it in chats.
I'm just looking here at the different albums I have. So I have one for like business flyers, like business tools. For instance, like the comp plan, little graphic is in there. So in case somebody wants to know, well, how do we get paid on what levels? I'll be like, oh, I'll just go to my photo album, click on business tools, and it's there. And also like product coaching, if you see something really cool that on the coaching page or something that you think, oh, that would be handy to have to share with people. So I have one for product coaching too, an album. I'm trying to think of something else. Just different flyers and graphics, different things. Can you guys think of anything else that would be?
Anything that you have to say more than twice deserves to be either a text replacement or something on your phone that you have easy access to. Because I mean, there's still stuff, like Madi said, it took me forever to set up my text replacements. I still am like, are you kidding me? I just got asked this question and I still don't have it in a readily available quickly. The convenience is key, you know, making things simple is key. So sorting around is wasted time.
Yeah, like how much time do you all spend just going like this, looking for stuff on your phone, making albums?
And speaking of that, there's a lot of really great training in Room at the Top. And if something just really speaks to you and you're like, oh, I want to go back and take notes on that, there's an icon that you can just save the video and just pull it up later to watch. Another good thing is see first. Like there's motivational speakers that I like to follow. And so I'll put that as see first on my phone. So as soon as I go to Facebook, it just pops up and I won't miss any of their content. So just some things that I think can really help just keep you focused and keep you on the right path. And so most of you are probably working full time and everybody working full time. So it's really, really important to use those nooks and crannies to be an income producing activities, not scrolling. That's why I love Teamzy, because it spoon feeds you. Okay, I've got 20 minutes here while I'm waiting to pick up my kid from a basketball practice or whatever. So you can just automatically go, okay, who do I need to follow up with? I did. I can like talk all day long about how to build in nooks and crannies, because that's how I built my business. And so, I was one of Cala's first calls, and I knew that I wanted the product because I lost my mom to cancer. And during that time, everything that I learned to try to help her get better pointed to nutrition or lack thereof. And so here we were, you know, I hadn't even had Fallon yet. We were living in a single wide trailer, and I looked at my husband and I said, listen, I don't care what kind of car we drive, what kind of house we live in, supplementing is going at the top of our budget, because it doesn't matter. If you lose your health, you don't have anything. And so I was already supplementing. I loved Cala. Of course I wanted to support her business. Plus I was up 8 pounds. I'd just been to the doctor, and she called me on my way home from the doctor where I just weighed. And so even though I told her, no, you guys, I'm an opportunist, and I was watching her every step of the way. And so, you know, here she was running a business, 7 kids, and she's making like $2,000 a month on the side. And that was my excuse of why I didn't want to do it, because I'd been in the industry before and I worked really hard, but it never did seem to be worth it. I made a lot of money as a dental hygienist, and so I was like, oh, you do your thing. But some things changed in our lives. Anybody have, you know, the unexpected happen? Well, yeah. So a dentist came and bought the practice out, and my wages were literally cut in half. And my husband had a successful horse training business, and because of an injury, he had to close the doors. And so here we were, you know, it was like, okay, tell me what you got, Cala, because you're not going to get rich without me. It's kind of basically how it went down. But no, we needed the money a lot. And, you know, horse training is a great lifestyle, but it's a hard way to make a living, and I didn't want him to have to go back and do that. And the alternative was my husband, you know, has to go get an 8 to 5 job someplace. And I didn't want that either, because about the same time we were needing to bring my son home to homeschool. And I would say that was my number one driving force, is so my husband could be home to homeschool our son, which literally probably saved his life, I'm just going to say. And so, I just, you know, all I wanted was a couple $1,000s. That was literally the pot of gold at the end of my rainbow. And that ended up happening after about the first year. So obviously you guys are doing it a lot quicker. But it was a lot different back then, just saying. Yeah, horse and pony days. But yeah, I just, you know, I look back and it is pretty crazy. I mean, I left home before 7, and a lot of times I didn't get home until 10 o'clock at night if there was a meeting or something that we had to go to. So there was sacrifices along the way. It wasn't easy. I gave up a lot of things, and but it was definitely worth it. And I had that vision in front of me that I knew it was going to be worth it, because it was hard, but being broke is hard too. And not having, options in your life. I hated that. I didn't want that for my kids. I didn't want it for my family. And Rita Davenport, former president of Arbonne, she's like one of my mentors. And I remember her saying that money is not everything, but it's right up there with oxygen. And I'm a big giver. And when you have it, you can be more, it helps you become more of who you already are. And so if you can't help yourself, how can you help and give to others? So, but yeah, I didn't quit till I was like making that much money. But the company was young, we didn't know. And I remember the day I told my dentist, and I had my back office pulled up on my phone because I knew he would like never, ever believe me. And he was a great guy. I mean, I liked my career. And I said, you're not going to understand this, but this is what I've been doing, my little gig on the side. Everybody's gossiping over lunch. I've been going to the car and working my tail off. And he was like, he looked at the phone and the amount, and he looked at me, and he's like, well, damn, I'd quit too if I were you. So anyway, I know. It was all in God's timing. I truly believe that. So.
About Teamzy really quick. So, there's a lot of you guys who are sponsoring, 20 plus people every month. And I know that coaching is so important. We do have to be checking on people. And, day 3 to me is one of the most important days to check on someone, because they should be down anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds. And if they're not, then they're probably either not pooping or they aren't eating enough. So if you can catch that on day 3 and then day 9, have them be really excited about their results, that's a lot better than them just going clear through. And then on day 9, they're like, oh, I've only lost 1 pound. This stuff doesn't work. I want to return my kit. So the thing about Teamzy is you can schedule follow-ups. So it's like you're showing up to your job. You open your Teamzy. It tells you who you need to follow up with that day, and you can even make notes. So when you're putting a new customer in there, you can even put the text replacement that you're supposed to send them for coaching that day. So you don't even have to think okay, what day are they on? Where are they at? It just will pull up. You see whatever the coaching ones are. So.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of talk about goal setting, what I do for my team to help them out on making sure they have a clear vision of what they need to do each day to be able to hit the goal that they want to hit each month. I know that for me, if I don't have a clear goal and clear thing to get me to where I'm going, I'm not going to hit that goal. So I make sure that as soon as someone signs up and they're wanting to be a distributor or interested in the business at all, I will make sure that I have a text replacement that says okay, you need to go and add as many people into my journey right now. And then if someone's interested, just put me into the group chat. And that way you can get your commissions back, or you can get your quick start bonus earned. So that's the first goal right out the gate that I make sure everyone's doing, is hitting their quick start bonus. And I like giving one goal at a time, because I feel like if you just give them all the information, they're not going to know what to do, and then they're not going to hit anything. So I kind of go with the quick start first, and then next up, obviously manager. If someone's going really fast, I'll give them the info on the extreme builder bonus, but I make sure that I calculate out for everyone how much volume they need per day to be able to hit the rank that they're wanting to hit, or hit the quick start bonus, at the extreme builder, whatever. I will make sure to give that to them every night or every morning. And I love that we're doing the templates now for the countdowns, because I feel like that helps people hit their that just gives them motivation to want to keep going. And the promo this month is awesome. You get $500 in free product. So just making sure that they know right out of the gates what they need to do to get to wherever they want to be. It can be manager. I mean, I just say, hey, how much are you wanting to make? Or what do you want to achieve from this? That way I can get them the info that they're needing to hit what they're going to want to hit. Another thing for I always make sure if someone, whatever kit it is that they're getting started with, whether it be the core, the ignite, whatever, I always make sure I'm adding the text replacements that's, hey, trim sticks don't come in the core. Would you like to add those? Or flush or zing, whatever the kit is, because that's extra volume towards your goal that adds up really quickly. So, and better results. Yeah, and better results. Oh, and like doing roadmaps for people. So that's kind of basically what I do. But you can act like we haven't done this yet, but they've actually, you guys can, actually, I want you to talk about it.
Okay. So kind of the biggest, like they said, without vision, people perish. If you put something in front of somebody and you show them what they need every single day to hit that goal, there's a lot better of a chance that they'll hit that goal than if you're just like, hey, you need 2,000 points to get manager, like figure it out. So what we've kind of done with everybody and what my team did a couple weeks ago is we were like, what is your goal? What are you going for this month? You need to write that down, write what you are, attract it to you, right? I am a manager, I am a silver director, whatever that big, big, scary goal is. And then we're going to dumb it down for you. We're going to put the people you're getting to fast for and how much, it's basically just how much volume can you expect to get from where? Because we know that as far as I've ever been able to get by myself with silver manager, the rest I had to be pulling from other people on my team and building them. So we're going to put your fast fours on there. Who are you getting to fast for? If you are not making it a goal to get several people to fast for every month, you are really doing yourself a disservice, because this trip to Riviera Maya is actually easy to win. It's way easier for new people than it's ever been for people who have been around it forever. It's way easier to do whenever you have a brand new team than it is whenever you're controlling a huge network like my mom. I basically won that trip in 1 month. I got I got like around 80 points in just 1 month. And all that was doing was getting my people to not have to pay for their kit, just getting them that quick start bonus. And very rarely do people say they don't want to do that. On days 3 or 9, I'm capitalizing and I'm saying, hey, since you're already getting great results, there's a $100 bonus up for grabs for you. Do you want to snag it? Very rarely people say no to me. So just making sure that you're putting these goals in front of them. You're mapping out where your team's at, because we get nowhere if our team's not growing. If you're worried about what you can do and how far you can go, the only way you're getting there is by helping your team get to their goals, however big or small that they are. It all counts. So yeah, the roadmap is huge. Just know where you're going and what that effort looks like every single day.
Yeah. And I think that those templates for like countdown to manager or whatever you need to be using for your team, because they are so good, because they get, okay, cool. So anyways,
yeah. Okay, so just for example, like the end of last month, we had 5 days left to go. I had just hit platinum director, so I needed 50,000. I had to double what we had done in the whole month in 5 days. And I felt like, I had people on my team who were going after things. I felt like if I chased it down, I could get it. But I got with my mom. I'm like, okay, how are we going to make this happen? I have no idea where to focus my time or who to pour into or, who's close to what. And she's like, okay, well, we're just going to make this roadmap. So it took all of this confusion in my mind about how we were going to pull this off and make it happen, and it like gave me step by step exactly how we were going to get it done. So we were able to grow by 50,000 in 5 days, simply by just writing people's names down, helping them realize what they're close to, what they need to be running towards, because obviously you can't do huge things in this company by yourself. We rise by lifting others, so that's just a really great way to pour into them.
I'll just say one other thing too. That's why subscriptions are like so important. Number one, you want them to get great results, but also those numbers help push you to the next level. So you're not starting over at 0 every single month. You're going to have reorders and points from those reorders. And so that's why it's critical, and it's a win-win. It's a win for them, and it's a win for you building your business.
Yeah, and if you're in a place where you're like, none of this even applies to me because I have no one under me doing anything, I lived in that place for 6 months. So I just want to let you know that if you are not capitalizing on days 3 and 9 when you hear good news and letting them know that they can get their product paid for $100 in their end profit, then You've got to be doing that. That's how you build a team. That's the only way that I was able to do anything, was just capitalizing whenever people were excited and asking them if they would want to go for this, because I had no reason to believe that I would ever be successful, because it took me 6 months to ever have one person who cared about doing this as much as I did. And so just use the opportunities when people tell you that they're loving it to see if they would want to do it. I mean,
not everybody is going to like post when you tell them to post. Like Morgan, I told her she did post before she started, then day 3 post, day 8 post, and not every time they're going to do it. And she's been now doing the business for like a little over a month now. Not even. You got started like a couple, but it was like, even though she told me no, or I didn't see her post, that didn't mean that I was going to stop asking her to post, because eventually, she did. And now she is where she is. She's probably going to close to silver manager, going to get gold. So
right, just meet people where they're at. It took Makaela, my girl who now is running for silver manager, it took her like day 15 on the products before I ever asked her if she was open. And that was my bad, because she was. And I just prejudged that she probably wouldn't be because she had a good job or whatever. And it's like no one is above a side hustle. I don't know if anybody knows this, but like when you're watching Shark Tank, those people have a lot of stuff on their plate and billions of dollars in the bank. And every single time they get on there, they're looking to invest. Nobody is above a side hustle or more income, period. So just make sure that you know that, and don't ever prejudge who might want to do this and who might not, because you're limiting yourself,
Do you want to say something?
I think we've touched on all
Okay. So on your roadmap, the great thing to do is, right across the top, put your date, do it as if it's already plus, whatever it is plus, because, at the beginning of last month, Madison was really afraid to write down silver director. It was so hard for her to do that. So just know it doesn't matter where you're at. It matters where you're going, and that you're connected with the right people, and you are, because you're here. So on the left side, when you get someone started, we would just put them there. Put number 1, they're there. If they get someone started, just put a little hashtag, so you can really easy see. Oh my gosh, you're one. You only have 3 more people that you need to get your fast 4, or quick start. They've changed the name, so I always say the wrong thing. But anyway, so as you get people started, you can actually see them right there. They may start as a member, but they may upgrade. Does that make sense? So on the left, we do that. And then once somebody hits it, there's this list over here, because the way that you win this trip to Mexico, does anybody want to go travel to Mexico with everybody here next January for free and take somebody that you love? I travel with my sister, since I don't have one of those other things. Anyways, your goal is to help 10 people get their fast 4. That's what you have to do. 10 unique accounts. Every time, if they hit manager, you get another 5 points. If they hit silver manager, you get another 5 points. Up to director, you get a 5 points for chasing any of those businesses. And then the other thing is you have to have a total of 100 points by September 30th. And when you get started, when you have 1,200 points like this month, it's so awesome, because you get 1,200 points, you're going to get a free trio, and you're getting 5 Founders Club points, because they're new inception volume. If you get the Ignite, you're going to have 10. So you need to have a total of, so you could help those 10 people get from fast 4 to manager, or wherever it is. You can get it from wherever. But if you're building, that's the thing. So.
Okay, I guess I'll talk about it. The last thing we have to talk about is the fact that this is an attraction business. I always thought I was too cool to post this stuff on my Instagram, to be completely honest with you. I'm like, well, who's not going to want to like me because I'm posting about a business? And I was wrong. And so the thing about Brittany is, whenever I met her, I was getting on her podcast, and I'm like, she has 15,000 followers. She probably makes a pretty good income. And she ended up reaching back out to me because I was even brave enough to talk about this opportunity, and now look where we're at. So this is an attraction business. People are buying you before they buy what you're selling. So when that comes to your social media, you need to just make sure that you're accurately portraying yourself. We want you to do the income producing activities where you do post about our opportunity or your business at least 1 time a day, but you've got to do it in a way that is attractive to people, that they would want to also do. If you start selling something and then all of a sudden that's all you post, nobody wants to be a part of that, and nobody wants that to be their life. You know, if that's what your life looked like, all of a sudden you don't care what you're eating and you're drinking with your friends, and the next day you're really about wellness and working out and all this kind of stuff, it's not genuine, it's not real. So just slowly start dripping on people, because most of you are new. If you're not sharing this with your whole audience on Instagram, you're missing out. But there's a good way to do it, and there's a way that's not so attractive to do it. So my best advice for people when it comes to Instagram, because that's where this kind of all started for me, really my journey built everything, but I had already had this solid group of followers on Instagram, and they bought what I was giving them. I was sharing value with makeup and the styling and my son. So I have these areas that I share about on my profile, and everybody needs to pick 3, 4, 5 areas that they show about their life. And if you don't want to build on social media, that's cool, but that's another market that you're missing out on. So just know that it's available to you. The coolest part about this is that our products do sell themselves. We're not knocking on doors. We're not sliding DM to DM and annoying the crap out of people. We're just showing them what we like. So we want to make sure that we're doing that in a way that is smart and would make people want to be a part of it. I go by the rule of 1 personal post a day, 1 business or product related post a day, and 1 motivational post a day. Because on Instagram, follows are not mutual like Facebook, and a lot of you girls who are on Instagram are going to know this. You have to add value to people in order for them to ever want to have anything to do with following you. So work on that. Let's see. The other part that I wanted to talk about was the recognition piece of this. People will do more for praises than they will for raises. So you just need to know your team. What did they come for? Are they someone who wants the fun in the community? Are they someone who is here for money? Are they someone who wants to be shouted out and feel successful in their life? You just have to know where people are at, because when everyone's in that frontline leaders chat and they see this X person got an enrollment, boom, and I laugh because that was Matt's big thing, who's on my team. He was like, I just can't wait to see my name with those bombs next to it because it makes him feel so good. And so those are the kind of people that you want to capitalize on, them really loving recognition. And I have girls on my team who could give a crap about recognition. They don't care. And I'm still doing that for them because I know it makes them feel successful. They're not going to tell you or I would even tell Madison when I went on my rampage of sponsoring a couple months ago, I'm like, did you see I just got another one? Like, I really want to see my name out there. Whatever. Call me out. Call me out. So you just need to make sure that you know where they're at and recognize things small or big. Because some people are really motivated by others who are running fast, and some people are the complete opposite, where they're like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing enough. So you need to make sure that you are making flyers for your people, and I'm going to give you the apps to do that soon, and just recognizing all the big and small stuff that they're doing, because if they don't feel successful, why would they want to stay here? You know, that's what people... I guess that the thing is that people really need to feel success in their life and whatever they're doing. And if someone signed 1 person up today and felt good about that, we need to make sure that they know that, you know? And so that's really important. There's a couple apps that you all need to have on your phone. So grab your phones. If you don't have the app Canva, Canva, you need to download that app. It literally, people are always like, well, how do you create these cute templates? I'm like, I'm not a graphic designer. They shoot you templates and you put in what you need. You know, so if you're ever out there looking like, oh, that graphic is so cute, it literally was spoon-fed to me, and I plugged in someone's name and someone's picture. It's really not difficult. Anybody can do it. So if you don't have that app, grab that app because it's awesome. Canva. The other app that's really cool to use for your daily, you know, showing people what you're doing on Instagram, because they say people need 8 to 10 exposures to something before they want to buy. Okay, well, those 8 to 10 exposures could come between your daily things that you're posting on your Instagram. I use the app Unfold to make my stuff look cute. I'll take a picture of something, a video of something, and that app basically just puts it on a screen or in a box that looks good. When stuff doesn't look good on Instagram, I just push. There's certain things that grab your eye and catch your attention. That's the kind of stuff that you want to have out there. So a lot of people, and I'm no shade to anybody, I don't know that these people are here, but putting a trim stick in a water bottle and shaking it on your story is not an income producing activity. You've got to bring value, connect the loop for them, and say, this is my trim stick, this is what it does. Maybe even follow it with a picture from the Share app of trim sticks. If you don't have the Xyngular Share app, download that app too. Like if I'm doing a boomerang where I put a resist chew in my mouth, I then follow it with a picture of Resist from the Share app and what it does so that people can actually see what you're doing. That's an income producing activity because people know exactly what you're talking about. What? Oh, using polls on Instagram and Facebook is really, really good on your stories. I don't post a lot about Xyngular on my actual feed because I don't want to be like that girl when you go to my profile, like, you sell something, I'm not following you because you're probably going to bug the shit out of me in a second with a DM. You just want to make sure that you can drip and be as real as you want on your stories. One of the biggest thing that I tell all my girls is when you have something hot on your mind, you could be in no makeup or however, people really want to see the authenticity. When you look at my profile, you're like, oh, great, awesome. You might see me on my stories and you're like, who is she? But at least you can relate to her. You know, I get on there, I might share something like, for me, my truth is that I never have conformed to a diet. I lost my 30 pounds after I had my baby, and since then I just maintain with a few products. Me getting on and just being real and raw with no makeup, letting people know my truth in this business blew stuff up for me. I had probably 10 DMs like, oh my gosh, you really only need 2 and 3 products to maintain your weight? You really didn't have some drastic lifestyle change? And I'm like, yeah, that's the truth of what it is for me. So in those moments, get on your stories and let people know what's up. It's only up there for 24 hours, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you will be doing it.
I think putting your, like, the promo pictures, like, once a week, just so people know that there's promos going on, and adding the poll is great for stories as well.
So use the heck out of stories because they're dripping on people. They're giving them those little things that they need to see in order to reach out to you.
Facebook too.
Yeah, and on Facebook, either way. But if you don't have Instagram and Facebook, that's another market you're missing out on. So just, you can do the same things. You can make the same posts, but it targets different audiences. So.
But I also think it's important, like, for me, like, I am not a huge social media person. Like, it is so frustrating for me to make anything because it takes me 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, does this still look bad? And so just so you know, like, you don't have to become an Instagram influencer to be successful at this. Like, I definitely need to work more on my social media just because I'm missing out on business that I could be getting. But just know, like, you don't have to have 15,000 followers to be successful, you know?
They already said it, but we're going to just start with maximizing the pay plan. You guys are here because you are open to or in the business. Most all of you are in the business. So I want you guys to think about subscription. So I'm going to start with subscription because it's the ABCs of our business. Auto ships, which is subscriptions, builds checks, and it builds happy customers. And like they said, you don't want to start next month with 0. Why did you work that hard if someone's just going to get on a few products and not stay? Does that make sense? So make sure that you're using that why subscription. So why subscription? One, if they're going to order, it is the smartest way for them to order. If you've gotten people started last month and they get started on subscription this month, the company gives them $15 free. If you're ordered in this month and you haven't gotten your stuff yet because we're exploding and we're a little behind with COVID and all of that, they're actually adding an extra $50. It'll be a total of $50 in your account. So make sure that you do that. You want to set it, if you are doing the business, you want to set it at a 120-point order, okay? If you bought the Ultimate, you're getting that $100 gift certificate. You put $250 in your cart, and it'll take off the 100 at the end. You cannot get another kit because it's already discounted. Because, you know, the trimmed out trio you can, but with the core, it's 10% discounted. They don't do it on top of that. The Ignite, it's a 20% discount. And the Ultimate is a 30% discount. So if you guys are brand new, I want you to realize, just to know, if you haven't done all the products, a lot of you guys started at like 125 points because you're starting a business, and that is awesome. The other thing that you want to do, when you have a 120-point order in, that means anybody you refer and anybody they refer, you're going to get paid. And we can give you the breakdown of that. So that's important to have the 120. But one time in your whole career, which it might as well be when you've already started, make sure and have a 360-point order. and it can be added up through the month. And we were talking about sampling, all of that. But what I would encourage you to do is, I know that you're just wanting to use a few products. Right now, it's a great time to have products on hand. When I got started, I am a mother of 7. They were 4, 5, 6, 8, 15, 16, and 18 years old. 6 are girls. We were struggling because the economy had crashed. I was juggling credit cards and everything else. I mean, it was just a nightmare. But when I got started, my friend called me, who was skinny. She gained 12 pounds, thank God, and got it off within 2 weeks after struggling for a year, going to the doctor, hoping it was her thyroid. No, welcome to menopause. And she was doing diet and exercise for a year and couldn't budge. She just kept getting bigger. I mean, she couldn't fit in her clothes. So I thank God for that. But when I did this, she got a hold of me after calling me for 8 times that month, because I didn't even have time to go to the bathroom because I was running a business, helping with another business, and had all the kids. The guilt of the working mom. She was already making checks every day by the time she got a hold of me. So I needed the product desperately, but I needed a way that, one, to get paid every day. You can get paid every day. They have monthly bonuses, great travel incentive, amazing people, and free travel. Who does not want to sign up for that? But I looked at it because I owned a retail business, which I don't suggest for anybody is a great idea. But anyway, now you have all kinds of overhead. I could get started at the top of the pay plan, which was with the Ultimate, right? And it was like $550. I had unlimited reach. I could leverage other people. I maxed out the pay plan. You get paid in referrals, 8 levels deep of referrals. Think of your family tree as like that. And sometimes it gets out from under you. So I couldn't put a sign out in front of the business that we had for $550. Do you understand what I'm saying? I needed the product for myself anyway. So I encourage you guys, make sure that you're trying different things. We all love Genesis. Everybody should be on Genesis and Immune right now. So there was something else that I wanted to say about that. Oh, yeah. So for me, it was like this, and it is for you. It's not, make sure that you're saving back with the checks that you're getting to make sure that you have the money to pay for your subscription. It's like turning the lights on for your business. And that's such a low overhead, you guys. All of you guys have phones. How much did you spend on them? What would happen if your phone went out? How long would it take you to make sure and have a phone? You know what I'm saying? So just realize, I didn't have the money. You know what I did? I bought 6 kits. At the time, I wrote a really bad check to my credit card. But you know what I knew? One, I live in a small town. They weren't going to send it back. I knew that if I had 30 days, and it used to be 30 days instead of 45 days, that I needed to know if this stuff worked, not only for me. All my daughters, my older daughters were like, when's that diet stuff coming? When's that diet stuff coming? Walk down the street, call Jayna, walk down the street to Brandy. And if I wouldn't have had a kit in my hand, she had a reunion thing coming up the next weekend. So I was able to hand it to her, not wait on shipping. And how fast do we get results? 24 to 72 hours. When do you want them to start doing that? So having a rotator kit where I was able to hand it off, and then the other came back. I just had them shipped back to me, and that's what we're doing for Shelly, who's just got started, and she's already in all these chats and got checks coming. It's like, this is about how fast do you want to go, fast or slow. So just don't think of 120 points like, oh my gosh, it's at the top of my grocery list. I was not feeling good. I was waking up like an 80-year-old woman, exhausted every day and pushing myself through. Day 3, dark cloud was gone, and I had real motivation and energy. Right? I was like, it doesn't matter if I'm losing weight or not. I have to feel like this. I'm nice to the people I love instead of being the grumpy person and being nice to the other people in the world. You know what I mean? So, is there anything I'm forgetting? So does that make sense to you guys? So make sure that when you get into your back office, it ends up giving you your thing, like how much you have in a personal order, how much your group's done. And then it says a 360. Make sure that light's green. So thank you guys so much for coming. I am going to have us run around. What time is it? Do we have time? Oh, yeah, we do. Gosh, dang it. This is so perfect. I'm going to start over here, but I want you to say who you are, where you're from, and if you learned something, an aha that you got, and the best thing about being in the company or on the products. Thank you guys so much.